A message to Garcia. This is really about becoming the best. To become the best at anything, you have to be known for being the best at one thing. This book is about what it takes to accomplish your dreams that will change your life forever. So take the time and answer the three questions at the end. How will being Rowan help you personally? How will being Rowan help you professionally? And what would Rowan do? So enjoy the book and start that becoming the best process. All right, a message to Garcia. Originally published in 1899, there's a note here. This is one of the classics of business literature and one of the top 10 selling books of all time. We believe it ranks second. We recommend it since it's public domain. You may make copies if you want information on it, or you can use the link below and get your own. Here's the foreword. This literary trifle, a message to Garcia, was written one evening after supper in a single hour. It was on the 22nd of February, 1899, Washington's birthday. We were just going to press with the March Philistine. The thing leapt hot from my heart, written after a trying day when I had been endeavoring to train some rather diligent villagers to abjure the comatose state and get radioactive. The immediate suggestion, though, came from a little argument over the teacups with my boy Bert, suggesting that Rowan was the real hero of the Cuban War. Rowan had gone alone and done the thing, carried the message to Garcia. It came to me like a flash. Yes, the boy is right. The hero is the man who does his work, who carries the message to Garcia. I got up from the table and wrote a message to Garcia. Thought so little of it that we ran it in the magazine without a heading. The edition went out, and soon orders began to come for extra copies of the March Philistine. A dozen, 50, 100. And when the American News Company ordered 1,000, I asked one of my helpers what article it was that stirred up the cosmic dust. It's the stuff about Garcia, he said. Next day, a telegram came from George H. Daniels of New York Central Railroad. Thus, give price on 100,000 Rowan articles in pamphlet form, Empire State Express advertising on back. Also, how soon can ship? I replied, giving the price, and stated, we could supply the pamphlets in 2 years. Our facility was small, and 100,000 books looked like an awful undertaking. The result was that I gave Mr. Daniels permission to reprint the article in his own way. He issued it in booklet form in editions of 500,000. 2 or 3 of these 500,000 lots were sent out to Mr. Daniels, and in addition, the article was reprinted in over 200 magazines and newspapers. It has been translated into all written languages. At the time, Mr. Daniels was distributing a message to Garcia. Prince Hilikov, director of Russian railways, was in this country. He was the guest of the New York Central and made a tour of the country under the personal direction of Mr. Daniels. The prince saw the little book and was interested in it more because Mr. Daniels was putting it out in big numbers probably than otherwise. In any event, when he got home, he had the matter translated into Russian and a copy of the booklet given to every railroad employee in Russia. Other countries then took it up, and from Russia it passed to Germany, France, Spain, Turkey, Hindustan, and China. During the war between Russia and Japan, every Russian soldier who went to the front was given a copy of a message to Garcia. The Japanese, finding the booklet in possession of the Russian prisoners, concluded it must be a good thing, and accordingly translated it into Japanese. And on the order of Mikado, a copy was given to every man in the employ of the Japanese government, soldiers and civilians. Over 40 million copies of A Message to Garcia have been printed. This is said to be the largest circulation in any other literature venture that has ever attained during the lifetime of an author in all of history, thanks to a series of lucky events, thanks to a series of lucky accidents. All right, here we go. Albert Hubbard, December 1st, 1913. A message to Garcia. In all this Cuban business, there is one man that stands out on the horizon of Mars, stands out on the horizon of my memory like Mars of perihelion. When a war broke out between Spain and the United States, it was very necessary to communicate quickly with the leaders of the insurgents. Garcia was somewhere in the mountains vastness of Cuba. No one knew where. No mail, no telegraph message could reach him. The president must secure his cooperation, and quickly. What to do. Someone said to the president, there's a fellow by the name of Rowan will find Garcia for you if anybody can. Rowan was sent for and given a letter to deliver to Garcia. How the fellow by the name of Rowan took the letter, sealed it up in an oilskin pouch, strapped it over his heart, and in 4 days landed by night off the coast of Cuba from an open boat, disappeared into the jungle, and in 3 weeks came out on the other side of the island, having traversed hostile country on foot and delivered his letter to Garcia are things I have no special desire now to tell in detail. I wish to make is this. McKinley gave Rowan a letter to be delivered to Garcia. Rowan took the letter and did not ask, "Where is he at?" By the eternal. This is a man whose form should be cast in deathless bronze and a statue placed in every college of the land. It's not the book-learned young man need, nor instruction about this or that, but a stiffening of the vertebrae which causes them to be loyal, to act promptly, be loyal, to trust, to act promptly, concentrate their energies, do the thing, carry a message to Garcia. General Garcia is dead now, but there are other Garcias. No man who has endeavored to carry out an enterprise where many hands were needed, but has been well nigh appalled at times by the imbecility of an average man, the inability or unwillingness to concentrate on a thing and do it. Slipshod assistance, foolish inattention, dowdy indifference, and half-hearted work seem to be the rule, and no man succeed unless by hook or crook, or threats he forces or bribes another men to assist him, or mayhap God in his goodness performs a miracle and sends him an angel of light for an assistant. You, reader, put this matter to a test. You are sitting now in your office. 6 clerks are within call. Summon any and make this request. Please look in the encyclopedia and make a brief memorandum concerning the life of Correggio. Will the clerk quietly say, "Yes, sir," and go do the task? On your life, he will not. He will look at you out of a fishy eye and ask one or more of the following questions. Who was he? Which encyclopedia? Where is the encyclopedia? Was I hired for that? Don't you mean Bismarck? What's the matter with Charlie doing it? Is he dead? Is there any hurry? Shan't I bring you the book and let you look it up yourself? What do you want to know for? And I will lay you 10 to 1. After that you have answered the questions and explained how to find the information and why you want it, the clerk will go off and get one of the other clerks to help him try to find Garcia. And they will come back and tell you there is no such man. Of course, I may lose my bet, but according to the laws of average, I will not. Now, if you are wise, you will not bother explaining this isn't that Correggio is indexed under the C's, not in the K's, but you will smile very sweetly and say, never mind, and go look it up yourself. And this incapacity for independent action, this moral stupidity, this infirmity of the will, this unwillingness to cheerfully catch hold and lift these are the things that put pure socialism so far into the future. If men will not act for themselves, what will you do for the benefit of their effort is for all? A first mate with a knotted club seems necessary, and a dread of getting the bounce on Saturday night holds many a worker to his place. Advertise for a stenographer, and a 9 out of 10 who apply can neither spell nor punctuate, and do not think it's necessary to. Can such a one write a letter to Garcia? You see that bookkeeper, said the foreman to me, in a large factory? Yes. What about him? Well, he's a fine accountant, but if I send him uptown on an errand, he might accomplish the errand all right. On the other hand, he might stop at 4 saloons on the way, and when he got to the main street, would forget what he had been sent for. Can such a man be entrusted to carry a message to Garcia? We have recently been hearing much maudlin sympathy expressed for the downtrodden denizens of the sweatshop and the homeless wanderers searching for honest employment, and with it often go many hard words for the men in power. Nothing is said about the employer who goes old before his time in vain attempt to get froer ne'er-do-wells to do intelligent work, and his long patient striving after help that doesn't nothing but loaf when his back is turned. In every store and factory, there is a constant weeding out process going on. The employer is constantly sending away help that have shown their incapacity to further the interests of the business, and others are being taken on. No matter how good times are, this sorting continues. Only when times are hard and work is scarce, the sorting is done finer. But out and out the incompetent and worthy go. It is survival of the fittest. Self-interest prompts every employer to keep the best, those who carry a message to Garcia. I know one man of really brilliant parts who has the ability to manage a business of his own, and yet who is absolutely worthless to anyone else because he carries with him constantly the insane suspicion that his employer is oppressing or intending to oppress him. He cannot give orders, and he will not receive them. Should a message be given to him to take up Garcia? His answer would probably be, take it yourself. I know one man of really brilliant parts who has not the ability to manage a business of his own. Tonight, this man walks the streets looking for work, the wind whistling through his threadbare coat. No one knows him, dare employ him. for he is a regular firebrand of discontent. He is impervious to reason, and the only thing that can impress him is the toe of a thick-soled number 9 boot. Of course, I know one of so moral deformed is no less to be pitied than a physical cripple. But our pity, let us drop a tier 2 for the men who are striving to carry on great enterprise, whose working hours are not limited to the whistle, and whose hair is fast turning white through the struggle to hold in line dowdy indifference, slipshod imbecility, and the heartless ingratitude which, but for their enterprise, would be both hungry and homeless. Have I put the matter too strongly? Possibly. I have. But when all the world is gone a slummin', I wish to speak a word of sympathy for the man who succeeds. The man against great odds has directed the efforts of others and has succeeded, finds there's nothing in it, nothing but bare board and clothes. I have carried a dinner pail, worked for day's wages, and I have also been an employer of labor. I know there is something to be said on both sides. There is no excellence per se in poverty. Rags are no recommendation. All employers are not rapacious and high-handed any more than all poor men are virtuous. My heart goes out to the man who does his work when the boss is away, as well as when he is at home, and the man who, given a letter to Garcia, quietly takes the missive without asking any idiotic questions, and with no lurking intention of chucking it into the nearest sewer or doing aught else but deliver it, never gets laid off, nor has to go on strike for higher wages. Civilization is long, anxious search for such an individual. Anything such a man asks shall be granted. He is wanted in every city, town, and village, in every office, shop, store, and factory. The world cries out for such. He is needed and needed badly. The man who can carry a message to Garcia. Albert Hubbard, 1899. So, at the time Mr. Daniels was distributing a message to Garcia, Prince Hilikoff, director of Russian railways, was in the country. He was the guest. Questions to answer after reading a message to Garcia. First question, how will this help me in my personal life? Second question, how will this help me in my professional life? Third question, what did I find was valuable about this book? Bonus question, how will I be more like Rowan?